Well, I call it mental quicksand. You see, the more we stew in it, the deeper we go and the more we get stuck. And we've all done it. We've all been there, thinking about what might go wrong and replaying what went wrong. See, there's a part of the brain called the hippocampus. Looks like a little seahorse. And for our safety, it remembers things that went wrong so we can learn from that and not do it again. However, when you're trying to make a decision, the hippocampus kicks in and you're thinking about things that went wrong before. So you're a little leery on making the decision because if you do, you could be wrong. And so you're overthinking everything, and overthinking is a dream killer, which is what the title of this is today. And overthinking is the enemy of action, and action is what separates doers from the dreamers, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be talking about overthinking is a dream killer. So I'm going to come up here with 5 reasons why overthinking kills progress. And when we overthink things, we're not making good decisions. We're worried about failure. And we should not be worried about failure. We should be worried about succeeding. Actually, we're not worried about succeeding. We should be happy we're succeeding. It's a good problem to have. So, 5 reasons why overthinking kills progress. Number 1, overthinking delays decision making. Think about it for a minute. You start weighing out every single option, waiting for that perfect plan to fall in your lap. Well, perfect never comes. And the result is missed opportunities, stalled growth, and then what? Regrets. We regret just why didn't we pull the trigger? Why didn't we pull the trigger and buy some XRP? Because a lot of people are going to be saying that in a couple years from now. I've talked about that before, but crypto is the way of the future. 3 bills were just passed in our government recently on cryptocurrency. It's not going to take over cash. It's going to be part of our currency and be part of the cash, but it's going to be a lot faster, a lot more accurate, a lot more secure, and a lot more efficient. But anyway, let's get back to 5 reasons why overthinking kills progress. You know, we don't want regrets. And know this, I said this the other day, winners act, losers hesitate. Winners act. I'm all about slow growth. I think I just did a podcast on slow growth. I'm all about slow growth. But when I make a decision, I've already thought about it for a while. When I make a decision, I act. I don't hesitate. Now, if I'm sitting at a conference table and we've got to make a decision fast, I say, make a decision, right or wrong, let's go. I can always go back and fix it. I can always go back and redo it. But right then, I've got to make a decision. I don't have time to waste time overthinking things. Sometimes I have to make a decision now. We have to implement it now, and we have to hope for the best. And that's business. That's life. Especially when you're in a seasonal sense of urgency, emergency business. You've got to make decisions fast. You can't overthink them. That's not going to get you too far. And number 2, overthinking builds fear. You see, when you think wrong too long, fear grows. Fear gets in your psyche. You're hanging out at the hippocampus area too long. You imagine the worst. You rehearse failure. Oh, gee, what if this happens? What if it doesn't work? What if I look bad? What if I lose someone over this? Whew. The result, fear becomes your guide instead of faith. The Bible's pretty clear in 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Fear's not in there. Fear's made up on our own. It did not come from God. We make it up right here between these two ears. That's where fear comes from. You're hanging out at the hippocampus too long and you're worried about things that are going to go wrong, and you start building fear where now you can't even make a decision. You are so fearful that you can't even make a decision on your own. All right, number 3, overthinking sabotages your confidence. You start second-guessing your own abilities. And you start second-guessing all the decisions, all the good decisions you've made, you start second-guessing them. And confidence drops and self-doubt takes the wheel. Progress stops. Your business, you just shut it off. Turn the phones off because progress stops right there. And the result is progress stops. But seriously, the result is hesitation replaces your hustle. You got to get rid of that hesitation because you can't have it replacing your hustle. Your hustle's what got you here. Your hustle's what started this thing. Your hustle's, if you're a manager, your hustle's what caused you to take this position. Your hustle's what drives you every day. You can't stop that hustle. And you certainly can't let hesitation stop that hustle because you're coasting now, and when you're coasting, you're going downhill. Remember, clarity comes from doing, not debating. I said this the other day to a group I was speaking to. Clarity comes from doing, not debating. Sometimes it's not a debate, especially as an owner of a company. You decide, you make a decision, right or wrong. It's not a debate. We're doing this. Matter of fact, we're going to do it now. We're going to make it happen. And I need to see this, this, and this by this date. End of meeting. See you guys later. Love you, but I had to make a decision. I own the place. I write the checks. And if I'm an S corporation, I'm paying taxes on all the profits that this company makes. So I just made a decision. And it was clear. And it was firm. And we're doing it. Right or wrong. Confidence. I've done that several times over 35 years. Confidence. Number 4, overthinking destroys your big momentum. A moving car is easier to steer than one stuck in park. I can remember cars that didn't have power steering. I had a car, 68 Chevelle, that did not have power steering. A lot of people couldn't drive one today. They used to be no power steering, no power brakes. The brakes were not like they are today. The brakes went almost all the way down to the floor before they'd stop you. And the steering was like driving a truck. It was hard. I mean, a big truck. So a moving car is easier to steer. If you never start, then you're never going to get traction. You're never going to start moving so you can steer this thing easier. It's not rocket science. It's actually fun. When you get things going, you got the big momentum going, and you're steering this thing. You're in charge. Remember, you're the leader. You're making things happen. Number 5, overthinking wastes time and energy. Whew. Your mental bandwidth is limited. You're not God. There's no S on my chest. I said this before. If there was an S on my chest, it would stand for super struggler, because I have struggled all the way through this 35 years. Nothing has ever come easy. If you're running a business and everything comes easy, I'll probably question you a little bit, because you haven't been down the road of the hard path. You haven't learned much. If everything comes easy, you're not learning much. Don't burn your bandwidth on imaginary problems. You're wasting your bandwidth. We only have so much up there. And once you get burnt out, you're fried. You can't make decisions. But we waste it on imaginary problems. We're thinking about problems that haven't even arisen yet. We're thinking about problems that haven't happened yet. We're thinking about problems that will never happen. And the result is nothing changes. And the potential that you have sits idle while you're trying to decide to make a decision, but you're overthinking everything. And you get stressed and tired and no progress to show for it at all. No progress. Now, back to what the Bible says, which is more important than what Greg says, is all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. So if I'm just sitting around talking about it because I'm too afraid to make a decision because I've overthought everything and I'm living in the hippocampus world and I'm worried about failing, then I'm going to come to poverty because nothing's happening. I got to make things happen to make money. I got to make things happen to be to progress. I got to make things happen to get to the next level. And everybody, if you've been listening to me for a while, you know this. If you're brand new to the show, I started with, my story. I started with $274 and a used truck with no air conditioning. If I had overthought the competition, the risks, the lack of capital I had, I would have quit before I got started. If I would have sat down and wrote down every reason why I should start a business versus every reason why I shouldn't start a business, I would have never got started. Never. I had to make a decision. I'm going to start my own business. I don't even know how. I don't have any money. I don't have any name recognition. I don't know a whole lot of people. I'm only 26 years old, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to knock on doors and I'm going to make hundreds of phone calls a day. And I'm going to see what happens, because failure is not an option. I'm just going to keep going. But action breeds clarity, because I wasn't going to quit. And one good move led to another good move, led to another good move. And then I'd get knocked down a few pegs, where I think I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, where my phone didn't ring for 2 weeks. And I wasn't in my first year of business. I was in my second year of business. My phone didn't ring for 2 weeks. I didn't just have no work for 2 weeks. My phone didn't ring for 2 weeks. And then I sold over $1 million job, one job. I told you about it before. It was an apartment complex. I had to replace 1947 Lennox furnaces with new furnaces and add air conditioning. Is over $1 million job. Spread it out over 2 to 3 years. Worked on it when we didn't have anything to do, which was most of the time then. We called it mailbox money. Money was coming in. Checks were coming in. It was a blessing. I was very creative how I sold that. I went up against a lot of the big boys that had been in business 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But action breeds clarity, and one good thing led to another. I've helped build multiple businesses now. I just started my own new business, and I act before I feel ready. And that's one of the keys to my success of starting at zero and taking it to a level. Because my gift is starting from scratch. Because of just that. I don't have to know it all. I'm not going to overthink or overanalyze everything. I'm going to just go. I'm going to do. I'm going to make it happen. And yeah, it might be tough. It might be rough. It might be hard. But I'm going to do it. And I know how to take a business from zero to multi-millions. But then there's a leadership lid. There's actually a leadership lid. And I have no ego concerning my lid. And my lid is at this point. And we are at this point. I'm hitting the lid. Oh, could I go another million or two if I really worked hard and got stressed out and had a heart attack? Absolutely. But I've reached my limit. And I'm okay with that because I know there's other people and their talent is taking a business from this level to the moon. Or let's just say double, triple it. And then there's another group that can come in and they can take from that level to the moon. And that's their talent. That's their blessing. That's their gift. My gift is going from zero to multi-millions, and then I'm done. I've reached my limit. Okay? So, and I'm going to talk about that more in the next coming podcast of just what's happened to McAfee Heating and Air and where we're going with this thing. So, I feel very confident in what I do. And there's no ego where I say I've reached my limit. I've hit the cap. I've hit the law of the lid. It's there. So now I want to share with you how to beat overthinking, because a lot of you guys overthink. You overanalyze. Not much is happening in your world, and you wonder why. So, number one, limit the time you spend thinking negative. You see, because we all know when we go negative. We all know when we're living in the hippocampus area and we start thinking what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. Catch yourself. Realize I'm going down the wrong road. Call an audible, time out, walk out of your office, go for a walk around your building, down the street. Get away for a minute. Clear your mind. You're going down the wrong road. And remember, action is the antidote to overthinking. So clear your mind. Start over. I've had to do that many times. You know our mind is capable of thinking some weird stuff. And we can even think about stuff that is just so weird and out there or dangerous or sad, where we have to go, whoa, where are we going with this? Time out. Call an audible. All right. Number 2, do a brain dump on paper. This is very, very important. Get thoughts out of your head and write them on paper. You'll see what's real, and then you'll see what is just noise. But write it down. See it. Realize I'm thinking wrong. The minute you can tell yourself that, the minute you're going to make progress, and the minute you're going to have action. You're going to take action. Number 3, I call this pray and move. Ask God for wisdom and then take the next step. Proverbs, 31 chapters. Average month has 31 days. Read a chapter of Proverbs every single day. It literally takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. You gain wisdom. You ask God for wisdom, but you put action to it. You take the next step. You start reading Proverbs and other books in the Bible that that you can gain wisdom from. Faith without action is what? It's dead. Number 4, get around action takers. Boy, this is good. Get around action takers. Overthinkers will drain you. Overanalyzers will drain you. I often think to myself, people that overanalyze every little thing, I just wonder how they had kids. I'll leave it at that. But overthinkers drain you. Action takers inspire you. Get around people who do, not just talk. I want to be around doers. I want to be around action people. And number 5, focus on what you can control. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your movements. You can control that. Don't get stuck planning your perfect life, because there is no such thing. There's no such thing as a perfect life. Quit planning for a perfect life. Quit planning for a perfect business. Quit planning for a perfect marriage. Quit planning for perfect kids. Start small. Move quick. Fail fast. Learn. Because overthinking has never changed a life for the good, but action has. Overthinking has never changed a life for the good, but action has. So stop asking what if and start saying, let's go. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's do it, starting today. I'll leave you with this. Today, what's something you've been sitting on too long? Overthinking, overanalyzing. Write it down. Number 2, make the call. Hit send. Step forward. Make it happen. Number 3, you don't need permission to move. You need action to move. Powerful stuff. If you're an overthinker, which we all have been, if you're an overanalyzer, which we all have been, this is how to beat it. This is how to get ahead. Faster. Quicker. Make it happen. You can always go back and fix it. Make it happen. Okay. Before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Be sure to tune in next week. I'll do my best to challenge you to be better, faster, stronger. Thanks for listening. As always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life, because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you next week.